Hey, Braden, just your thoughts on how difficult and frustrating this season was overall from a team perspective and from a personal perspective.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Obviously, one that didn't go like any of us really planned. It's yeah, you have some expectations coming in, and I think we know as well as anything, myself personally and team wise, we fell short on those goals, and that's always frustrating. But you just you try and learn from failure as much as you can, and come back stronger.
Thatcher has been very outspoken about how much Ian Clark has meant to his development, and obviously Ian and the rest of the coaching staff don't have contracts right now. What's your experience been working with Ian this year, and your thoughts on what the future might hold?
Yeah, it's been a great experience. Frustrating in some ways that it was such a weird season that didn't really get to soak in as much as we want to with practice time and those and that kind of ways. But I think in the short amount of time we've had, it's been awesome, and something that moving forward is going to benefit myself a lot. And as for next year, I have no idea what's going on. I think Clarkey is one of the best or the best goalie coach in the league, and he probably deserves the ability to decide for himself where he wants to go. But I think when you have something good, you don't let it go, and that's that's up to the higher ups to figure that out.
Next up, we'll go to Ben Kuzma.
One for me, Braden. You said a lot down the stretch that rest is a weapon because of everything that you guys have endured and trying to play the game and stay mentally sane. How frustrating was it for you on a personal level? Like you said, working with Clarkey, trying to adjust your game, having some spurts of success and having some nights where you struggled. What did you make of this season, and how frustrated are you at this point?
Yeah, I mean it's tough. It was I think a month or so before we shut down, I thought we were making a lot of really good strides forward, and then after the shutdown, it was just tough. All you can really do is look at video and then try and adjust during a game, which is not usually a recipe for success. But at the same time, we tried to just use every bit of time or opportunity to grow different things in my game, and I think it didn't show statistically or results based, but I know going forward it's going to be a huge benefit.
How much would it change to you in the offseason if Ian Clark is not retained and then suddenly you're looking at a different goalie coach?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's I've always kind of gone with the thing you can control the controllables. So that's out of my control. I think anytime you get to work with the best in the industry is always an honor. So hopefully that's still a thing going forward. But you just in the end, it's whatever. I think we support whatever Clarkey decides or whatever happens, because he's definitely earned that.
Next up, we'll go to Jeff Patterson.
Braden, you switch organizations for the first time in your career. Obviously, fans in the stands at Rogers Arena, city at times in lockdown and COVID. Like, do you and your family feel like you've got the full Vancouver experience yet?
I don't think we've got any of it. That's just that's been hard. It's been probably the worst year to switch cities and teams, just because you can't experience it to the fullest and really get to know it. So but that's everyone. That's just the way the year's been for the world, and I don't think we're it's not an excuse in any way. That's just the way life is kind of or the hands life has thrown everyone this last year. But at the same time, it's been kids are happy, so that's all you can really be worried about.
just to follow on that, then how mindful are you of Seattle expansion as a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that was something, when I signed here. That's, who knows what's going to go on or transpire from that. It's like I said before, you can control the controllables. I think in any way you look at it, any opportunity to keep playing in this league is one you don't take lightly, and you try and grow. And I think this summer is going to be one to really make sure I'm growing myself as a hockey player, and whatever transpires, to be prepared to play next year.
We have a couple more hands raised at the moment. We'll go first to Thomas Drance.
Braden, when you consider some of the intersection of sort of sports and real life experiences that you've dealt with since signing in Vancouver, from sort of turtle immigration issues through to the mask controversy, through to COVID pause, what do you think you'll remember about the last 6-7 months of your life when you look back at your career in the years to come?
I think probably along the same lines as most people. It's just it's an experience I don't think no one has went through before, and probably hopefully don't have to go through again. But there'll be, as any experience like that, there'll be stories to tell, and experiences to learn from, and there's light at the end of the tunnel now that things hopefully will get back to normal. And sure, years from now, we'll look back on this year and be able to laugh about it a little bit more.
You saw firsthand in Washington a team build around, a core group of young guys that have come up together and had a sustainable sort of run as a group, even learning how to feed off each other on power play one. I think there's a lot of that might be aspirational in terms of where this organization's tracking. In your view, what are some key similarities and what are some key differences, that you'd pass along in terms of how this organization gets from where it's at right now to where they want to be, closer to where you were in 2018?
Yeah, I mean, it takes time. It takes a lot of effort from a lot of different people to get where you want to go. A lot more than talent that goes into creating a winning environment and culture and team in the end. And I think as long as people have that in mind, that you can't be complacent in any way, shape, or form. That's how you create a championship team. It's you can have the pieces, but if the main thing is to keep building every single day, every year, in different areas to build that professional, hard work, winning mentality, and that's something we're gonna keep going forward with here.
Next up is Farhan Lalji.
Braden, coming out of the COVID break, you had a couple of exceptional performances, maybe your two best of the year. At that point, did you think you were really turning a corner? And can you compare that to maybe how things ended, where the numbers weren't as good, but at times you also had a tired team playing in front of you on the second end of back-to-backs and things like that, and just compare, the time coming out of the break to how the season ended?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said before, we were making pretty good strides before that happened, and a couple games, I guess, you were going off of adrenaline and everything. You're trying to put it all out there, and I think myself, our team, the schedule just caught up to us in the end. I think everyone here did an outstanding job of grinding through as best as we could and competing. I don't think any of those games you can say that the guys didn't compete and try hard. It was just towards the end, it feels like you're playing with a weighted vest on, just because of circumstance. So, but really proud of just the way the guys battled through that, and they'll definitely make everyone stronger in the end.
Thanks.
Next up, we'll go to Daniel Wagner.
Braden, you mentioned the difficulty of kind of integrating the things you're learning from Ian Clark without the practice time and just trying to go by video and trying to integrate that into games immediately. Do you feel like you can take what you've learned from Clark this season and apply it over the course of the summer? Or do you really need that kind of day-to-day interaction with a goalie coach?
No, I think there's lots that I can take and do on my own and that kind of thing. A lot of that stuff is it takes repetition. It takes making sure that you're doing it correctly in every practice to really integrate it into your mind and your body and it just takes time that we just kind of ran out of. But going forward, the plan doesn't change. We keep pushing to create those habits that I think are beneficial.
And obviously over the past few seasons, you've kind of seen a decline from when you were at that Vezina caliber level. Did you see growth in your game where you feel like you can get back to maybe not quite those heights, but back to where you're one of the top goalies again?
Yeah, I mean it's I think the style of goaltending has changed, and I'm kind of more of that older type of style, and it's just a matter of adapting. And I think this year was a big step in the right direction. It probably doesn't look that way, but it definitely feels like that's going to go in the right direction that way. And the goal still is always to just find a way to win. In any way, shape, or form. I think the work that I've done this year with Clarkie is going to help that.
We have time for two more here. We'll go first to Chris Faber.
Braden, it's been a year like no other. Obviously, I don't have to tell you that. But how excited are you to just maybe get to see what it's like to be a Vancouver Canuck goalie in front of Vancouver Canuck fans at Rogers Arena, hopefully next year?
Yeah, I think just the opportunity to play in front of fans would be real exciting at this point. You don't really realize how important that is to the game until you don't have it, I guess. So that and just hopefully if everything goes well, you'll have back to normal next year where you can do team bonding events and get to know people a little bit better to create a team atmosphere in the ways that you're able to before, where this year is just everyone's kind of hands are tied on a lot of different scales. So it'll be nice to be able to experience the fun parts again.
And you guys have been pretty tight as a goaltending group yourself, Ian, Thatcher, and I guess Mikey as well. Do you think it was like for a guy in Mikey DiPietro's situation who's so young, trying to break into this league, but got really an experience like I can't really think of another goaltender getting experience like this early in his career?
Yeah, I mean, he's been, it's incredible. It's great that he finally got some games at the end. But his attitude every single day, his work ethic was something that a lot of people wouldn't even be able to understand to do. And he came to the rink every single day, smile on his face, first one out there, first one in the gym, ready to work at all times. He's an outstanding professional and an outstanding goalie, and hopefully, I think is someone who works like that and has that attitude, good things are going to happen.
We'll take our last question now from Vic Nazar.
Braden, your usage this year may have been a bit lower than I think you may have intended when you signed up. Is this a role that you would be comfortable doing next year as well?
I mean, if we do the right things to be competitive and win, I think that's I don't really care too much about how that happens. I want to play, every day, but at the same time, the team's goals are always above the individuals, and whatever role I'm given to, help a team win is, you accept that, you work every single day to, as if you're playing, and you go from there. But, you can't control much else other than the way you play. And that's my only goal.